Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. Hour number 2 of the Line Talk 99.5 on this Fun King Friday. No sign of Damian Mitchell. Is he out today? What happened?
He's probably out there with his honey. He's fancy.
Oh, let me just text him.
What time is Murphy coming on?
12, I think.
Excellent. Hadn't talked to him in forever.
Working today. Let's see what he said. You think you'd holler at your boy and say, "Hey, I'm gonna be out, so don't expect me." But he's got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he's in love, man. Come on, you gotta give him a break on that.
Oh.
What?
Never mind. If you are, you're probably in the town hall.
Oh, that's right.
Dang, I'm an idiot.
No, you're not. Don't talk about yourself that way.
Well, it just hit me. It wouldn't have mattered because if he would have come in at 10:30, he would have only been able to stay for 15 minutes, and then he had to leave. So,
Yeah, I think you made a good call.
has anybody offered you any food yet?
No, and I'm just going to stay away from there.
You're not even curious as to what it is?
No, I mean, I'm looking forward tonight. I'm going to be air frying some Brussels sprouts. Don't laugh. It's delicious.
I know. It's just
You know, they get kind of crispy on the outside, and you put a little bit of Irish butter on them.
I know, but it's just funny just listening to a 62-year-old single guy being like, "Oh, it's Friday night. I'm going to cook some Brussels sprouts."
Yeah, well, that's going to be my quick meal before the podcast.
Oh, I got you. You're
know.
gonna that's more of like a brunch or like not a brunch, but a dinner, if you will.
Yeah, it's going to be a lantern because I plan on, after the podcast, just going home and getting ready for bed because I got that 6 a.m. thing. Then I've got stuff, Saturday.
Yeah. You're coming over to my house. It doesn't have to be a secret.
Oh, yeah. But there's something I'll go ahead and ask you on the air if it will work because Seth and Megan were going to see his grandparents and find out her grandfather might not make it, so they're leaving today.
Oh, no.
So I was going to see, could we do 3 hours Saturday and 3 hours Sunday? Because I got to watch the dogs.
Well, if you've got nothing requires you to come over Saturday.
No, I mean I love doing that stuff.
I know, but it's not a 1 day job. Like we can move it. It's not something that we've got to do Saturday. So if you've got other stuff, why don't you handle that, and then we can try it on Sunday.
It's just sitting around.
Well, I mean, we can try it on Sunday. We can try it anytime during next week after the show.
Okay, all right.
So let's just hold off on Saturday.
Yeah, we'll do Sunday.
Okay, that's good.
Because I'm excited. I love getting in there and just.
Well, and my boy Chris from Noto Roofing's trying to get me to go watch the UFC fights with him tomorrow night, and so I may. Yeah, my default is O'Sherry over in Moody, so I'm thinking I'm trying to see if he just wants to go over there. I got to pick Peyton up sometime before the fights, so that's also a place that I can take him.
Yeah.
And so we may end up watching the fights over at
Oh,
O'Sherry.
man, I wish I could do that. That'd be fun. Yeah, O'Shea's a great place to watch that
We'll just
stuff.
bring the dogs over with you. We'll just watch it outside.
No, no. I mean, Sonny is a sweet little kind of dumb Labradoodle. And then there's Gizmo, and his name pretty much should tell you. He's a Vizsla. They're like a special kind of hound, but basically, jaws and everything. But they're really fast and they're hyper. And every time I go over there, he runs up to me and he pisses everywhere.
Oh, nice.
And then the other day when I went, he pissed everywhere. And then I was like, oh, my gosh. I was going to give him a quick rub, and then I was going to clean up the floor for him. So he, rolls over on his back, and I'm rubbing his tummy, and he pisses all up and down my arm. I'm like, so then I started kicking him, and then Seth was like, stop that, get out. No, that didn't happen. But the piss on the arm did. So,
Well,
it's kind of tough.
I wish I could go home and go to bed after the podcast, but Peyton didn't get off work till 11:30 tonight.
Man, that dude, I'm so proud of him. I mean, seriously.
So I've got a.
He ain't my kid, but I feel like he is. I'm so proud of him.
Well, soon, hopefully, I'll have my vehicle situation figured out, and I won't have to be traveling to his work at 11:30 to pick him up. But anyway,
Yeah, but you'll miss it. You'll miss it. You'll miss it a little bit when you're not doing it.
I absolutely will. But he wants to do grown up things. All right, real quick. 205-545 if you want to get in. I want to add this to the redistricting deals. We were talking about Tennessee, what you're going to be seeing happening in Louisiana, in Alabama, and South Carolina as well. South Carolina is now discussing moving back their primaries so they can then redistrict their state and eliminate their Democrat seats. And this is moving in the direction of being an extremely important midterms for Republicans.
Love it.
To set the stage to allow Donald Trump to get so much stuff done in these last two terms. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Now, with that said, Donald Trump has been better than anybody at bypassing the Congress BS, the Congress drama, and getting things done. But at the same time, if you've got the backing of Congress, it's going to be like full speed ahead. It's going to be great. But maybe the biggest story out of all of that, even though the Democrats are talking about the Confederate states are now starting to steal elections because they're eliminating Democrat seats. That's what Gavin Newsom said. We just got words that the Virginia Supreme Court has struck down the Democrats' plans, Spanberger's plans, to create a 10-1 Democrat congressional map, and basically slammed Spanberger for being cheaters. They said this is from the Virginia Supreme Court about whether or not that vote that they took with the very misleading language on the ballot is constitutional or not. They said this constitutional violation incurably taints the resulting referendum vote and nullifies its legal efficacy. They said, we hold that the legislative process employed to advance the proposal violated Article 7, or no, that's Article 17, Section 1 of the Constitution of Virginia. This violation irreparably undermines the integrity of the resulting referendum vote and renders it null and void. So Democrats have now failed in forcing Virginia into being represented by only one Republican and 10 Democrats in Congress. It's now going to go back to a 6 Democrat, 5 Republican split, and the redistricting has just tilted heavily towards the Republicans this November. That is crazy.
It's amazing.
It's hilarious how all this played out. It's because it started with Texas. And think about what has started with Texas over the last few years in making major things happen. Say Texas, when the borders were wide open, and Texas started sending illegals to blue cities, and then blue cities all of a sudden they started having to deal with the problems. Well, then Trump comes in, Tom Homan comes in, and they're able to then just target blue cities to be able to get large numbers of illegals off the streets and back to their countries. Now you've got a situation where Texas kicks it off with redistricting. You could argue Alabama was had a court case back in 23, but Texas kind of kicked it off with redistricting in favor of Republicans. And then California's like, no, well, we're going to redistrict in favor of Democrats. And then next thing you know, Virginia's like, yeah, we're going to redistrict in the name of Democrats. And all the while, this case about Louisiana redistricting is making its way through the courts, gets to the Supreme Courts, and then just takes a dump on all of it, takes a crap right on the Democrats' heads, and reverses everything. And now they're sitting there with egg on their face. It's a beautiful thing to witness.
Isn't that so great? I mean, I'm feeling even better on Friday. Stop it or I'm going to explode.
Alan's on the line. Alan, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, man.
I'm calling in about, a dream situation like you had.
Uh-huh.
And this happened last month. I had a dream that my best friend growing up came to visit me. We were running around Walmart, raising hell, come back out, He says, I'll be right back. I can't find him. I go up front to call him. I see him at the exit door. Now, he committed suicide years ago. I look at him. I say, Billy, what are you doing? He said, don't worry. I'm not alone. I didn't think nothing of it. 2 days later, his dad died.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And that was about a month ago, you say?
It was last month.
Dang.
Man, that's powerful.
Yeah, and I know I believe that stuff too, because I mean that kind of stuff happens, and even if it's almost seemingly predicting the future or predicting that something's going to happen, or maybe while you were asleep it happened, like there's something about our dreams that are trying to tell us something. I mean, in some cases you're just dreaming about what's happening to you and it's painting it in different scenarios or whatever, but I think your dreams in a lot of cases are trying to tip you off to something. And I don't know how all that works. I don't know if it's a spiritual thing. I don't know if it's just the chemicals in your brain. But it's something, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, y'all have a great day and a great show. I'll be listening to you the rest of the day.
All right, Alan.
Sweet.
Thank you, buddy.
Bye.
Yeah, that's wild, dude. That is wild. What if it's the aliens that are putting this in our heads? Now that we're getting some UFO files released, is it possible that they're just dropping, because they've got to, I mean, based on their technology and the fact that they're just out there living in space, they've got to be able to know what's going on at all times. They got to have a pretty good surveillance program, right? Far better than the CIA or Mossad, I would think. But no, seriously, I think there's a big spiritual aspect to it, honestly, because I mean, that's all connected to our brains and our biology and everything else. It's all tied in together. Not to get too deep on a Fun King Friday, I'm just throwing it out there. So, take that for what it's worth. Gary's up next. He's in Trustville. Gary, what's happening?
Andrew, can you explain something? I can't wrap my mind around this. How does redistricting work? I mean, everybody still gets to vote. How does that work? What makes it? What I'm asking, what makes it where everybody gets mad, where they say it's all Democrat or it's all Republican?
Well,
explain that?
I mean, I guess on the base of it, which you may understand this part. I mean, they have districts in each state that would be kind of like counties, but they're bigger swaths of land. So a district encompasses more of like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 counties, depending state to state. And so Alabama, how many districts? Google real quick. How many districts does Alabama have? I think we have maybe 7. And so each of those districts has one representative that goes to the U.S. House of Representatives.
There's 7.
Okay, 7. So each of those districts vote on their ballot. They will be able to vote for the representative for that particular district, which will go and make up, one vote for the House of Representatives in D.C. And depending on where that district is drawn or where they consider that district to be, that decides who goes because, certain voters in certain towns vote certain ways. Like if you go to my hometown of Rimlap, Alabama, most everybody there is going to be voting Republican. Now, if you go over to, Birmingham, somewhere in Jefferson County or Avondale or whatever, they're going to be voting Democrat. So they look at those things and they decide, hey, we want to draw the district in this way so we can get the most blue votes in this district so we can get a Democrat or so we can get a Republican. Both sides are doing it. And because of that, the districts have been drawn in such a crazy way. Instead of them just being in clusters across the state, like in Louisiana, with the thing with Louisiana, the district was like a big snake going through the middle of the state, just like this thin slither, just going all the way from top to bottom, just so they could take what they were looking at, which was black voters, people that lived in black areas, and they could encompass them in one district where they could then send a Democrat representative to Congress. So as the redistricting goes, and what the Supreme Court says, you can't base when you draw these districts, you can't base it on the color of the voter. That eliminates the Democrats' idea of, drawing up these districts based on race, and they have to go back to normal districting, which you can base on politics, but you can't base on the color of people's skin. And so the districts are going to look more normal. They're going to look more like a cluster of counties opposed to just a map of, the Warrior River running through the state of Alabama or whatever. The current map in Alabama, if you look at it at the districts, once you get south of Birmingham and like down towards Tuscaloosa, the blue districts run from all the way from like the west side of the state to the east side of the state. It's like this long blue strip because it's majority black and Democrat voters through that area, and they do that on purpose because they want as many Democrat seats as they can get in Congress. But that's I don't know if my explanation makes any sense, but that's essentially
it. Does now. It does now a little bit. So in other words, they draw the districts out to where the Democrats are going to win those districts.
Correct. Yeah.
Basically.
And Republicans
Okay, well,
do the same
that?
thing. I mean, both sides want to do it, but the issue that arose was the fact that Democrats were doing it based on the color of people's skin.
Well, won't that make Californians null and void what they done?
Yeah, I mean, if they can show that they were doing it based on skin color, I don't know that they were, because I mean, if you look at it, large swaths of California vote Republican, but they've drawn districts that kind of take all the people that are, say, in L.A. or in San Francisco, which make up a large number of the votes, and stretch it out as far as they can go to cover a larger portion of the state. I'm sure California will be challenged as well. I would imagine that a lot of states are going to be challenged here in the next few days. But there's a time limit, though, for these upcoming midterms, because right now we're rolling through the primaries for a lot of states. So the people that are going to do it, they're going to have to do it fast.
Okay.
So we'll see. But after these midterms, there's a whole new can of worms that can be opened for the 2028 elections. So it's going to be interesting to watch.
Okay, well, thank you for answering my question. It sort of made it a little bit clear, because they want to make it sound like people's not getting the votes. What they're making it sound like.
Oh yeah.
Franchise, but
and
everybody gets to vote still.
Correct, and that's what. And let me hit this break, Gary. But I appreciate it. But Gary's right. That's exactly what they want to do. They want to make it sound like people are not getting to vote and turn it into some sort of civil rights issue, which it absolutely is not. It is, once again, Democrat propaganda. All right, 205-545-9950. Let's roll through a couple more of these phone calls. Eric's in Chelsea. Eric, what's up, bud?
Hey, man. How are you doing?
Good.
I was listening just now to the gentleman that called in asking questions about the redistricting, and I guess I've got another question. So everybody was saying, you were saying, and he was saying they draw up the district. I know they is the state government, but who exactly is they that draws up the new districts?
Well, it's the legislature, and I think what they have, and I guess this is probably similar across all states, they have committees that will draw up districts, and they may even use certain groups. I think in some cases I've heard, third-party groups come in, like they do in Congress in D.C., will come in and give them a proposal and say, hey, this is what we think you should do. I don't know that the actual state legislators are smart enough to draw the districts themselves. But there are some people that come in and they propose them and they say, hey, this is what we think will work out best for your party and everything else. And then they present it. And then the entire legislature has to then vote on it. And as we've seen as of late, the losing side of that will then file a lawsuit and take it to court. And then the courts ultimately decide what can or can't happen. And that's why we're in this position. So
that I understand the end game in trying to achieve this. I do understand that. But what you said a key word, and you said these bodies or groups will say what's best. We think what's best for your party. That's what I was trying to get at. So that was my question that I was trying to get at was that. That's what I was determining. Is it the census have anything to do with districting at all, or is it purely economic and the population status?
No, the census does.
In the district?
The census will. And when does the next census come out? Is it 2030? The census.
I think it is 2030.
Yeah, the census will determine how many districts that a state can have. So depending on the population, it'll give you more representatives in the House. And so that's going to be when we get the new census, and if they've got it cleaned up and they're doing it appropriately, it's going to be fascinating to see how that pans out, because not only have you got a massive influx of people leaving blue states coming to red states, but you've also got that mixed in with illegals being deported from blue states, which is also dropping their population. So not only does this redistricting help Republicans, but the census itself, the next census that comes out, may heavily benefit Republicans. So it's going to be it's a wild ride. I often get bent out of shape because I think, man, once 2028 rolls around, once we go through that, we don't have Trump anymore, and we're not going to have anybody like Trump ever again. But the more I think about it, the more I look at these situations, I'm like, we might just be all right. If, we may roll around into 29 and 30 and 31 with a President Rubio or a President Vance and, have a Republican Congress and be in good shape. Who knows?
Well, this is the groundwork that has to be laid to assure that.
Amen. Amen to that.
Okay, well, you answered my question very well. I appreciate it.
All right, Eric. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
That's what's crazy. I just cut my own mic off instead of hanging him up. Did you see that? That's what's crazy, and it's what I tried to explain earlier in the week about Donald Trump, and it's the fact that where presidents of old would always make decisions and implement policies that affected the right now, that benefited not necessarily the people, in most cases not the people, but benefited them politically in the right now, and never really looked towards the future as to what's going to be the benefit to us. Think about Obamacare, right? So Obamacare was politically beneficial for Obama, and maybe in his eyes, he thought it was going to be beneficial for Americans in the here and now. But was it going to be beneficial down the road when Obama was long gone from office? Absolutely not. It was premiums were going to skyrocket. People were not going to be able to afford their own health insurance because they don't care about what happens in the future. Donald Trump is the opposite of that. The policies that he implements them with the foresight to say, how is this going to affect Americans and generations to come, our kids and our grandkids and their kids, And that's what's so great about that guy. Here we go, baby. The Line Talk 99.5. Donald Trump speaking from the White House right now. They're holding an event where they're honoring angel moms and gold star moms, I guess, in the lead up to Mother's Day. And I'm probably not going to go long form with this. I just want to dip in for a moment, and I'll get back to the phone lines. Let's just see what the president has to say.
Beautiful spring, this gorgeous spring day. The very famous Rose Garden has been famous for a long time. They let it get a little bit out of control, but now it's brought back to the highest level. And, you know, where you're standing or sitting right now is white stone, and that was grass. And the problem with it is you couldn't walk on it because this is built on a wetland, and the grass was always soaking wet. It didn't matter. It was always soaking wet, absolutely. And so when Brooke Rollins would get up and start making a magnificent speech, and she'd be standing in mud, and she'd say, I ruined my shoes. Her speeches would never be as good as they could have been because she was always concerned about ruining her shoes. But people would come here, women would come with the high heels, and it wasn't a pretty picture. So after about 150 years, we gave up in the grass, so we said, let's build it so we can use it. And now we have lunches here, we have dinners here, and it's nice and it's cool. The white reflects the sun, so you don't, although it does go in my eye right now, I noticed. I didn't anticipate that. But it's a great place. It's a great place. And we do news conferences, we do everything. And right up here, you probably noticed the new black granite. And it's been so well received, people can't even believe it because the stones were all broken and really in bad disrepair. And it's really become great. And we added the pictures of the presidents from George Washington to a guy named Trump. And people really, they've loved it. We call it the Presidential Wall of Fame or Walk of Fame. We say you could call it either. Do you like walk or wall? Ready? Walk, Presidential Walk of Fame. Presidential Wall of Fame. Same. That's the same. I would call that a tie. But I want to thank you all for being here. It's amazing. The weekend we celebrate Mother's Day, honoring the women who raised us.
All right, so I'll hop in here and just keep an eye on it. Now, if he starts bringing up angel moms or gold star moms, I'll probably dip into that a little bit because I would be interested to hear what they have to say. But John Burr, we'll just keep an ear on it as we go along and just dip in and out. Also,
We'll do.
Supposed to have Matt Murphy coming up at 12. We'll see how that goes. The country philosopher's on the line. What's up, bub?
Hey, man, I was listening to you talking about dreams, and I wanted to tell you my take on it. You know, I took a few, like 4 semesters of psychology, so, it's something that I've thought a lot about, and I'll tell you real quick. And also I want to tell you, one of these days I want to call you, and I want to tell you about my family's UFO sighting. We made the paper and everything. This was in, 1975. It was really freaky.
Really?
So I know you – yeah, oh, dude, it was like the talk of the town. We were ridiculed for a long time. But I know you'll, be into it, so someday I want to let you know all about it. It's a pretty cool story.
Okay.
But my thing about dreams is this. I think that, we are constantly taking in information that we don't know we're taking in. I mean, we're seeing so many things with our peripheral vision, with our direct line of sight. We're looking at this, we're glancing at that, and we're picking up auditory information as well, and we also pick up information with our nose. We smell things in the air. And we're so busy in our day-to-day affairs, we don't think about all of the information that is just bombarding our subconscious. And I think that what happens is that when you go to sleep at night, you shut down and you go into almost like a form of stasis for your mind, and it is able to quietly and peacefully begin to process all of that information that you took in all day, whether it was movies or commercials or conversations at work or some jerk driving next to you, flipping you out, whatever, I think your mind begins to process it, and I think your mind starts to form almost like mini movies about what happened throughout your day and what your subconscious thinks may be about to happen based on the information. Because if you think about it, you can program information into AI and it will spit out a prediction that most of the time is eerily accurate. And I think that our minds are certainly more advanced than any computer. We only use 10% of our brain. The rest of the 90%, we have no idea how it functions. So if you think about it, that supercomputer in our head is taking in all of this information at a quiet time when we're asleep, and it's making, it's putting it in a format that we can understand. And sometimes it's to benefit us, to let us know what's coming, because, you know, we have self-preservation. If you smell smoke, you leave the house, right? If you smell gas, you leave the house. If you hear a baby crying and you don't have a baby, then you go looking for the baby. You know, we have the sense in us to seek things out and to avoid dangerous things. So I think our subconscious is probably making predictions or helping us analyze and understand what happened throughout our day. And I think that's what dreams really are all about. And it's not to say that dreams are nonsense. Sometimes they are. Sometimes it's just jumbled information from something we watched on TV right before we went to sleep. But I think that's my take on dreams. And you know, I'd be interested to hear yours, because I listen to a lot of what you have to say, and you've got a pretty far out take on a lot of things. And I want to tell you one more thing before I leave. I went viral on my YouTube channel. 3 million views on a video. Oh, dude. Yeah, I'm popping right now, man. I started doing comedy for non-woke people, and people are loving it, man. And all of a sudden, I had a video the other day that was just, well, it was a short. It was like a minute and a half, and it's got close to 3 million views. And then all of a sudden, other shorts around it started popping 300,000, 400,000 views.
Dang.
You know, so, dude, yeah, man, it's cool.
Dang.
So you got to check it out. Country Philosopher, man, on YouTube.
I'm
I
looking at.
want to call you and tell you about the UFO story.
Yeah, do that. I'm looking at your page now, so I'm gonna hunt down that. What's the name of the video? That was it a short?
It's called "We Don't Need a Man," Volume 1, and it's a compilation of women trying to do it yourself stuff.
Nice.
And failing. And now let me just say, I'm not anti-woman. We're not. I've made all the mistakes these women have made, but the motto, the logo of my channel is unapologetically celebrating peak male performance. And it's military-grade humor, and it'll make you laugh. And that's what it's all about, man. Make fun of the stupid stuff and enjoy it in a safe environment.
I see a cover photo from one of your shorts, and it's got a picture of a guy in a peanut outfit and like doing a mug shot, and it says "Police bust a nut."
Yes, that was so funny. It was like, and that was actually real news bloopers. And like, there's the one where the guy was about to blow up the bathroom at Home Depot, you know, with a nasty, you know what, and somebody overheard him say, "I'm about to blow this place up," and they called in a bomb threat, and it made the news. Yeah,
I think that ended up on the Wheel of Segments one time. Yeah, we'll have to. I see your video here. It was 2.4 million views. You got a lot of 40K, 18K. You got some good stuff. Jumper, we need to do a collab with the Country Philosopher to get us some numbers.
We need to take that boy out to lunch.
Let's see if we can do something.
Hey, listen, guys, I really want to tell you the UFO story in private, and I want you to hear about it, and because my whole family witnessed it, and it was. I'm just telling you, it's otherworldly. And if you think it's something cool, then we can go in the air and I can tell you about it live. But yeah, I definitely want to share it with you, man. I think you, of all people, would really appreciate it.
Roger that. That sounds good. All right, brother. Well, I appreciate it, man.
I appreciate it, Andrew. Love you a lot, man. Hey, now.
Hey, now. Yeah, dude. He's got some numbers on here.
He's our new best friend.
No, we need to team up with him and see if we can, because it seems like what it's derived from is his shorts on his YouTube channel. That's where he's getting a bulk of this stuff, and we have not been doing shorts at the level that we should be, but we were as you recall, Bird, we were talking about that just a couple days ago, or maybe it was yesterday, about me going through some old episodes. But I think we need to do some random stuff as well because, like he said, he was kind of given. I think he was given like political views and rants, but then he started putting some funny comedy stuff. At the end of the day, some people just want to flip through there and see stupid stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I like the karaoke idea that we talked about. I'm just the trips thing seems to go well, and that doesn't mean you can't repost it a month later. I mean, people repost all the time.
So let's think about this. So one thing that's been big is people that record themselves singing, but they're really bad at it, but they think they're doing good. For instance, they're singing a song. It's absolutely dreadful, but you can tell by the look on their face and their mannerisms that they think they're killing it. And people like those kind of videos. Wonder if we get you dressed up, maybe hit a green screen, or you can just do it from your bedroom, and you perform a song that, hey, it's just playing in the background. You don't have to strum it and all that, but you're just singing it. And instead of using your real angelic voice, you just slaughter the song, but you make it clear in your face and in your mannerisms that you are the star of the show and that you're convinced everybody's going to love this when they see it.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, everybody's doing that style. That's why I like the karaoke. I can do dancing and stuff and just sell it on stage. Yeah. Then you're asking, like, this is my best buddy, but he kind of sucks at singing. What do you think? And you can be getting the reactions.
So you're saying you want to do it at a karaoke bar?
Yeah.
Well, we could do both, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, a ton of people are doing the can't sing, and this is a different, this is kind of a different beast. It's like a different take on it, but the same thing.
Well, karaoke bars are apparently getting closed down all over the place from what the local news is saying. So we might be running out of karaoke places. Who knows? 205-545-9950. That's 545-9950 if you want to get in. No Toe Roofing, bringing you this part of the show. Have you called Noto since the storms rolled through? I sure hope you have. Even if you don't think you got roof damage, you lose absolutely nothing by calling Noto and getting a roof inspection. You actually gain something that Noto does that not many roofing companies do. You will see a lot of roofing companies go out there and inspect your roof, and they're not going to dare fix anything while they're up there. Their job is to get up there, look at it, make notes of what's wrong, and then climb down that ladder and tell you all about it. Noto, on the other hand, they go up there and they say, all right, they got a small problem here. We could charge them $500 to fix this, where we come back in 3 or 4 or 5 days and make some money off of them, or I could just fix this right here on the spot, and it costs them nothing, cost us nothing, and that's what they do. Other roofing companies don't do that, but Noto does. So at the very least, if you got a small problem up there that could turn into a big problem, Noto is going to fix it for you right on the spot. If you got emergency things going on, like a hole in the roof, or you need a tarp up there, tarp job or whatever, Noto's got you on that. You just got to call them. I want every one of y'all to get free roof inspections and complimentary roof tune-ups. I don't care if it's your house, your business, your rental property, your barn, your shed. Get them out there. Get them to look at it. Get them to figure out what's going on, if anything. 205-848-2299. That's 848-2299. Online, notoroofing.com. So let me run some numbers by you real quick on the redistricting thing that we've been talking about all week. This is a stunning turnaround, by the way. Republicans now hold the national edge in the 2026 House ratings after the Virginia decision that's taking Virginia from a 10-1 Democrat district deal to a 6-5 Democrat district deal. Of course, Hakeem Jeffries is absolutely livid. He's never going to – he's thinking – this guy probably was legit thinking that next year he was going to be the Speaker of the House, which can you imagine somebody like Hakeem Jeffries being Speaker of the House, waving his hands around with every syllable like he's the black Gavin Newsom. So 211 Republican, 208 Democrat. These are according to the ratings. Traditionally, there are 211 districts in the country that normally always vote Republican. There are 208 that are normally Democrat, and there are 16 toss-up districts that can go either way. And that number right there is before the red redistricting across Tennessee, Louisiana, Alabama, South Carolina, all of that. So the redistricting war has become an utter disaster for Democrats. That's what we call playing hardball, ladies and gentlemen. That is good stuff. Good stuff. So did Trump already wrap up his Angel Mom speech there? That was quick.
I guess he did.
Huh. Interesting. Or maybe they got somebody else coming. I don't know what they're doing. But think about that. 211 to 208 before the changes that are going to be happening in Alabama, Louisiana, Tennessee, and South Carolina. So you could, and each one of those are going to eliminate 1 to 2 Democrat seats. So you could be looking at 4 to 5, maybe up to 6 more solid Republican seats, which would put it at 217 to 208. No, that would be 217 to like 201, because that would be taking away Democrat seat. That's crazy, man. That's quite the edge. So we'll see how that pans out. That's good stuff, man. Let me look through the text line. I haven't been paying a lot of attention to you guys. Let's see. This one said, any chance you guys could go over or sum up the UFO news that came out today? I'm on the road. Otherwise, I wouldn't ask. Yeah, I'm going to try to get to that maybe next hour. Murphy's going to be coming on sometime next hour as well, and I'll try to touch on that with him. But that happened late last night. Some UFO files were declassified. They included videos that have been shared all across social media. And what I took away from it, and what little I did see, was that in all these cases, there were videos from Iraq, there were videos from Saudi Arabia, and it was these bizarre just flying objects that weren't, they were kind of in black and white. You know, there were videos from different aircrafts, and some of it night vision. The thing that I took away is that the Pentagon could not identify any of these things. They had to identify them as UAPs with unknown aerial projectile, or whatever UAP stands for. It's essentially UFO. And so as these are being released, and this is not all of them, this is just a chunk of it, the government's essentially saying, we don't know what the hell it is. They have no idea. So that's going to be interesting, and there's going to be more coming out on that front. So, yeah, we'll try to get into that, long story short. Justin says, can John Bird spell Brussels sprouts?
BRUSSELSPROUTS.
That is not right.
Crap.
I'm just kidding. I don't know if it's right or not. I don't even know how to spell it. It could be right, though. Hour number 3 next.